So what is a pathology? A pathology is kind of like a knot in your consciousness. It's when you have a repeated thought that happens over and over and over to the point where it actually starts to form mass in your brain, because the neurons that fire together actually wire together. So therefore, it's like water would stream down a mountain. It starts to cut out a trench, it starts to cut out a groove, and the more that it does that is the more it can be triggered and then go down that path a lot quicker, a lot faster. So the slightest thing can trigger you, and now you can go into that pathology. A pathology can turn into a neurosis. So like repeated thoughts turn into pathologies, but a pathology can get so tightly knotted up that it makes you neurosis. Do you know anybody who is completely neurotic? Like they're constantly living in a time in the past. They're talking about or reliving things that don't exist anymore, and they can't be present in the now, right? They're neurotic. Well, people who are neurotic can go so deeply into that it triggers psychosis. You know anybody who goes into psychosis, or they actually have to use drugs or alcohol to stop themselves from going into that deep, dark place where they become psychotic? They hurt themselves, they hurt other people, they mentally abuse other people, they're emotionally abusing themselves, or they can become completely narcissistic where they're operating over the top of all these deeply entrenched pathological issues that are tied in and rooted all the way down to their nervous system, right? So what happened to people in their younger years in their life, all the way back to childhood, can fuck these people up. And now they're full-blown adults walking around, but they're actually children that are suffering in an adult's body. So these people have pathologies. They become neurotic, they get on drugs, alcohol, addictions, they hurt other people, they hurt themselves. Well, that's what I want to talk about on this channel, is how to start to dissolve that stuff, dissolve those inner conflicts, the inner turmoil, and the stuff that could drive you either into like a full-blown nervous breakdown, or it can drive you to crack that stuff open and get energy flowing back through your core and realign you to where now you become free again. You begin to breathe again. You become emotionally and mentally free and not trapped within the confines and constraints and anxieties of everyday life. So one thing is growing up around people who are pathological, or growing up around people who have addictions, or people that have abused you, or you've seen abuse happen in your life, so you don't know any different. So you begin to replicate and duplicate that in your own life. I mean, this is all a matrix. Everything that's happening right now, this is all a complete matrix. It's an illusion, you know what I mean? So we're going to talk more about that in this channel. We're going to dive really deep into that. And if you give me, well, I'm not going to ask for your permission, but I do want to see in the comments what you have to say, because I want to talk about some really deep, twisted shit. Because I know that some of you watching, maybe even you watching, have been in a place that's so deep and so dark that you felt like you wanted to put a gun in your mouth because you couldn't take it anymore. That's how bad it is. And you have nobody to communicate with what you're going through. The reason I tape in public is because it's a good practice for me to let go. And because I want to communicate so bad that I don't care where I'm at. I have things that I have to accomplish in my life and do and live my life. And sometimes don't have time to set aside, specifically sit and make a video. It's very, it's impulsive and it flows through me, and I have to do it when the time calls, or it will never come out the same way again. It's not something that is forced, it's something, or planned, it's something that has to just flow, right? I'm actually going to get a massage. So, because I'm stressed out, right? I've learned that that's one thing that's worth spending your money on, because it's an investment in your mental and emotional health. All right, see you in a minute.